I went to South Africa. That's just immediately after Mandela got released, and people were tasting kind of democracy, even though that was very serious. That time, when I went to, I was maybe the first person, myself, Celine, etc., to go to that country where you can't use your passport. And they asked me to use a piece of paper to get a visa, just a rough paper. That is the time India sanctioned against South Africa. So no Indian was encouraged or allowed to have any meeting with the white South African. You can do anything with the black, but not with the white. So the guy who came to receive us, that is Joel Bolnick's younger brother. He's a white. We met Joel. By the time all the international supposed to be the doctors of community mobilization, community organization, people's building, this is a people dialogue was there. And I went there thinking, let's look at what is happening there. Then Joel has invited some, almost about 200 community leaders from different political parties, which was that kind of situation. The civics was the strongest civic movement, but all of them affiliated to different political parties, including the White Party, ANC, Civic, and all those kind of parties. Without even having a steering committee for a proceeding of the day, you don't know where to go. So I requested Joel, it cannot be, you can't do that. Brought us from different country, put us together, and you want us to deliberate, arrange a 3 days program, and with about 300 delegates, and all the delegates, all political activists, completely, they are ready to die. That kind of energy, it's current in the morning you get up. So I told Joel, friend, this is not done. You have to form a steering committee among the people who have come and give 1, 2, 3, 4 guidelines, and the discussion will start. So he's agreed. Then he told us, you select the steering committee. Then we selected the steering committee, and then we try to see how we can tell all our experience and expect South Africa to do. So everybody was assigned, like, Samsuk, and that person working in Hong Kong, Ramesh HR, Dennis Murphy, all the kind of leaders were chosen to speak about their stories. Then my story had come. I said, what are you? Who are you? So I explained about what I am doing, how Spark, among all others, Spark is the only agency is not connected to the church, not with the background of the church. So therefore, I made our presentation explaining about how to organize the people. That is more important. In 2 days I was there. I could guess every second person who speaks from South Africa will say, what all organization, this and all is nothing. Our civic is already well organized up to bottom. Let Mandela come, Mandela will deliver. The democracy comes, You will have everything on the plate. So I told them, see, I have come from a country where is the world biggest democracy. Every 18-year-old had a voting right. I have come from there, but my forefathers also same thing. You will, if you have freedom, you walk on the street, you will get a milk and honey and get rid of the British. That's what the slogan. I said I got into this, and quite a lot of people, Indian, all of us got into this. Then we said, work, let they have a democracy. Today, I am a slum dweller already 25 years. Like thousands of people all over the country, they are suffering here. Today, democracy doesn't mean it delivers. You have to pull up your socks, you have to organize, you have to demand what you want. Not only demand, you get it done. If you don't do that, nobody is going to provide you anything. Mandela will come, true, need a right politician, right political spirit, political commitment. Mandela will come, he will make the white paper into black. He will write it. This has to be delivered, housing has to be delivered, employment has to be delivered. All that will be done. Who is going to give? Nobody is giving. Then I went extra. I told them, this is what we will get it. You take your palm, write it sugar, and lick it. How much sugar you will get it? All of them. My God, all of them. I know we want to know. It was a big crisis. The whole crowd in the conference were dividing into who's partying with me, who's going in the political way. And then luckily I was getting the balance of 60 to 70%. The other group were getting like 20 to 25%. So then they said, yeah, we can't trust him. Democracy can't do that. We need to visit India. So that is where I offered them, please come with me. There is no alternative to organizing the poor. And the poor had to take charge of delivery. Then the whole discussion was moving towards what kind of organization, what kind of a strategy should have, what kind of a organization, how to make leaders. Because the majority of the people who are there, all the come up in the civics and a various organization up from the same organization. And near the one, tomorrow, 80% of them who are there, the politician. Some of them become administrators, some of them become the city head. Because this is what South Africa at that time. So it is for me, like I was talking to all the political policy makers. 80% of the crowd were like that. Because somebody was the head of the civics, head of the city, because nothing was existing there. This is all against the whites. Something has to be done. A people movement should be built, and then they should take this route. Anybody wanted to see something, come to India. That time we were constructing housing, we were constructing toilet, but the saving was going on everywhere. So therefore they are able to see, and they now then it's become a for first 2 years it was only exchanges. Every 3 months you see somebody, some countries coming. That is the time. First is South Africa, second Zimbabwe, third Namibia, fourth Bangkok, fifth Philippines. Philippines it took some time, but like this everybody joined. coming and going back and starting their organization with the saving. So it is a foundation stone for people to come and go and build their movement, organization based on the saving collectives and leadership. From there you take up to set up a people's movement. Regularly every 2 months I was going to South Africa. Then I was invited for a people's conference where a minister for land affairs was coming as a new Mandela government. Mandela was the president. Then they went and asked for this white minister, Derek Anacom, who was the land minister. He said, if this is what happening in India, I need to go and see that first. Straight away without anybody telling, he said, in the next 15 days I am coming. Then he came, then we organized 7 people to come, slum dwellers, to travel with him, even though he traveled in the first class, but other people also traveled. And that is the team. Completely went around Mumbai, went around the lepers colony in 3-wheeler, went to the chief minister with the slum dwellers and asked, how can you come to power? When the chief minister, this land minister asked him, how can you become to power when you have not rehabilitated the people, those who are living on the street? So the first time somebody in front of the people who could talk to the chief minister and say, without you are doing anything, how do you expect the people to come? So this is how this exchange became a model, community exchange. All the time, thereafter, every one after one exchange, there will be some professional, some politician, some minister. All the housing ministers' top priority was visiting India. All the ministers, Mandela, after that, 6 of them visited here and they spent time. And we used to organize, first visit the field, second do the collection, third go and visit the housing site. Then they went to see housing dialogue with the ministers and the interaction from bottom to top. They were interacting with all of them. That is what made in 1995 to put up a foundation to start a SDI. About 10 groups come together and that time decided we want to learn from one another. We have nowhere to learn. So we have to learn from our own peer group. And its best teacher would be your own slum dweller. That could happen only in this process. So they said, let's call this, form a network, and that's where SDA was formally announced in 1995. And then fortunately we had a second Buddhistrom meeting. So that is where this was taken up, in Buddhistrom. I was very closely working with ACHR, Samsung. So that is the time the whole crisis of getting back to democracy in Cambodia was a little bit open. The whole thing was, Cambodia was that the whole link communication was cut off by the Cambodians. So no news only, totally anarchy. Not only that, then I was able to go because of interest and saw if you want a water supply, people used to go to NGO. Like the skeleton structure, country structure was functioning through the NGOs. and this NGO is also white or all of them from Europe. Then we were trying to meet the governor. Then I said we are going to come and see, and they are all worried about it. Then we said we are the SDI, and the governor spoke to us. That is where our beginning. Then they were completely knowledge were less, outside knowledge. They have no idea what is the political structure. All was carried out by UNTAC, UN technical team. The UN was running the whole country. It is all run by the UN people there. The local people were not there. Then they were trying to organize an election. So it was a good beginning for us to start. Therefore, we started putting all the people, setting up our community organization in a big way. I think Africa was struggling a lot because the communication was. When I went to South Africa, they wouldn't even talk about newspaper. How did Cape Town can talk to Joburg? No communication. What newspaper is? Like that kind of, that was the same. Then we went to Zimbabwe. Then that was the more horrible than South Africa, because Mugabe was running their dictatorship. It was worst. He decided clear all the slum. Some about 2 million people were evicted at one go. And that is what Mugabe has done. So our federation became very strong to resist and go and talk to them. I remember I used to talk to all the ministers and the top ministers and go meet the. I think we organized a meeting to have a meeting with the president, Mr. Mugabe, in one of their cities, the urban conference. That is how we went on. That is when a training component was included, part of your exchange. You go there, not only teach, you take the people to have a dialogue with the minister. You take the people to bottom, they have to be saving leader, then they have to go to the city level and talk to them, and therefore you need to have a city statistics. You can't go anywhere and ask about, I don't know how many people are living in the settlement. So that came very handy to do the enumeration. So we used to do lot of mass enumeration. All the people, those who are become part of the network, everybody without giving any kind of financial support, they used to do the data collection of the slums. And then when we go to any city, the city expects you to come with all the data. I was fighting for anti-eviction. Then you accept, you say anti-eviction, you oppose the eviction. What's the option? There is no dialogue. Then you decided you need to know how many people living in your settlement, how many shops are there, how many electric poles are there. Electric pole means it's numbered. No electric pole anywhere in the world without a number. So it gives a legitimacy of what you are talking about. Then you have to count the number of telephone. Then you count number of shops. Then you count number of doctors. Then you try to come out, all the information is collected. How many police stations, how many bus stop, where you are going to work. So that helped me, sharpen me to, when you fight, You don't fight empty hand. You go with all facts and figures, because the city doesn't know at all. Even now, you go to many cities, the city authority doesn't know what you are come for, how many people are there, where they are employed, where they are living, what is their background, when did they migrate, how long they were living here. All the cities in Mumbai experience, when Spark came in, Spark tried to do a survey with the invisible to say how many people are living in the streets. The Janta Colony brought Spark, learnt all that, even though they are beginning of that kind of study and report writing on a book form and kind of this thing was introduced by them. By then this is all what we did together. As a federation, I used to fight all the eviction on this basis. So you collect the information. So the slum dweller information is finally with the slum dwellers.